Zippity doo dah, beautiful day, great to be alive. Hey, what's up everybody? Chris Brown here again. Now, starting in today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start setting up your blog. So the first thing that we need to do, if you haven't done so already, is you need to click on the link down below directly underneath this video, and you want to log into your digital marketing toolkit. And once you do that, log in with your username and password. Once you do that, you'll be taken to a page that looks similar to what you see here in front of you. Okay. From time to time they do change it, but this is pretty much what it should look like. Okay. Now the first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go set up what is called as a domain name. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come over here to your where it says products, and we're going to say request your free domain. Now a domain is a website name. You know, just like what your company is, your company has a company name, right? And a lot of you would have set up your corporation or your LLC or your DBA. That's pretty much, in the internet world, what a domain name. It is an identifier of what your company is and what they need to type into the computer of where they need to go. You know, Google.com is a domain name. Now let me just give you some pointers of what you need to think of when it comes down to a domain name. Don't stress out with this, and because I know a lot of times people get so overwhelmed and stressed on this, and they'll take weeks to come up with a domain name. This doesn't have to be the only domain name that you can you'll have. Just like what call forwarding works, you can have multiple phone numbers that go to the same destination. Well, the same thing is true with a website. Take, for instance, my website. The domains that I have are prostarprofits.com, prostarlifestyle.com, prostarlife, and prostarsystem. But yet they all, if you type in any of those names, they're going to take you to the exact same page. Now, eventually I might decide that I don't want some of those, and so I may just let some of those cancel and lapse, you know. That's something that you could do too. But another thing that you want to think about is take for instance Google.com again. Google has a domain name, and generally you want to go with what is known as a .com name. So as you can see here, there's a little drop-down menu. You can pick a .net and a .org. And the reason that this is important is a .com stands for company, and company is the most famous. But if you're branding your company, if you want people to know who you are, chances are you're going to want to buy multiple domains with the same name, just different extensions of it. Okay, so and this is totally up to you if you want to do this or not. It's not required. This is just a tip. Take for instance like google.com. If you went to google.com, went to google.ws, google.biz, google.net, if you went to some of these websites, it would take you to the exact same place. You can also get multiple domain names of take for instance, I could have ProStar Profit, and then I could have ProStar Profits. So I got the plural version and the singular version. But to start off, at least for your first domain name, like I said, you can change this later. You can get another domain later. You're not set in stone with this, so you can always go ahead and get another one later. And a domain name generally is about 10 bucks. You know, so if you want to buy multiple domain names, sometimes you can even get it cheaper. At least a .com is around the range of about 10 bucks. But here's your tips. First of all, it needs to be something that is easy to spell, easy to spell on a third grade reading level, because most of the country, most of Americans only have a third grade reading level. About 25% of them are what you, according to this report I have, is functionally illiterate. So they just have enough to basically read a street sign. So if you have something too complicated, they're not going to be able to spell it. So that's another tip. Another tip that you can use is to get something that's kind of catchy. Google, what is a Google? Well, a Google stands for a Googleplex. Look at Yahoo. Yahoo. That's kind of a cool name. My first domain name. So when I first started off, I started with brown-media.biz or .com. Yeah, brown-media.com. That's a long domain name for people to remember. They're not going to remember that hyphen generally. Then I moved it to brownmedia.biz because brownmedia.com was taken, so that wasn't available for me. And then eventually I got ProStar Profits. And the way that I came up with ProStar Profits, like I said, I got the Brown Media because of my name. And my business partner, he said, why don't we just name it after your name? My name was a little bit easier to spell than his. So we named it Brown Media. Our company was named Brown Media when we first started. So we got the Brown Media domain names. And then later, I got another domain name. And like I said, I let that domain totally lapse. I don't even brand myself that way anymore. But then what I did is I wanted to think of something catchy that's easy to spell. So I already had one domain name going to my website, so I walked into the grocery store. I'd been thinking about this for about a week. I need something that's simple, easy to spell, and catchy. Okay, and then I walked into the grocery store and I saw a can of Rockstar. So I'm like, star. That's kind of a cool. I like that star. What could I do with that? And then on the radio at the grocery store, they were advertising the Pro Bowl, and I'm like, Pro Star. That's cool. I like that, Pro Star. And then I went on to GoDaddy at the time, and GoDaddy's name, they have this little system that gives you other options if the domain name that you want is already taken. So I put in my options, and I found out that ProStar was already taken. So I was a little bit bummed, but it gave me another option that led me to the name of ProStar Profits. And that's really how I branded myself for a very long time. If you go on Facebook, you find me under ProStar Profits, Twitter, ProStar Profits, Instagram, ProStar Profits. All these, the ways I'm branding myself, I'm always known as ProStar Profits, even though I'm more or less now a ProStar Life because I do other things besides just marketing, okay? The other aspect of this is don't tie yourself into one thing. Companies who have been doing the same thing for 20, 30 years, and then they get online and then they find all these other income streams that they can generate. So don't necessarily brand yourself and narrow yourself off to one specific thing. You're not, like for me, I was an ISP, so I called myself, one of my domains names was Brown Media Domains. Well, that tells me what I do. I sell domain names, right? And that's what I was doing at the time. Well, ProStar Life doesn't tell you what I do. So if you want to use your name, that's okay, use your name, but do things like enterprises or media or industry or things like that that really leaves yourself open, that way you could pretty much do anything. So the domain that I'm going to set up for this blog, I'm going to try to see if it's available, but hopefully it is. And I'm going to go with Alpha Lifestyle. Okay, so I'm going to call it the Alpha Lifestyle, and I'm going to go for a .com name. So you want to put in your domain name now, whatever you choose, www. Put in, and it's all going to be one word, all lowercase. I know those of you who are new to the internet a lot of times will think, is this uppercase or lowercase? And one word, so I need to put, it's just one word, all lowercase. Now, one thing that I've spent a lot of money replacing is to make sure that you spell it correctly. So just look at it, ALPH, that's Alpha, Life, LIFE, and then Style, STYLE. So that's correct. So I got Alpha Lifestyle. And I'm going to go select domain. So it's checking for my domain. Domain name you're trying is already registered. So that really sucks for me. So I might go, I'll go about Alpha Lifestyle Academy. Alpha Lifestyle Academy. So yes, that's correct. So as you can see, that one was already taken, so I'm going to try another one. Check domain. Okay, once you order the domain, it cannot be ordered again. It cannot be changed. We will contact you again once we will be ready with your domain. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select order now. Now let me just clear up one last thing. It says you cannot change it. You cannot get. As you can see, once you ordered the domain, it cannot be ordered again, and it cannot be changed. We will contact. Okay, so I want to clear up something with that. That one is going to stay. You know, just like when I got brown-media.com. I could not change that one. It was my domain name, and I had to wait for that one to expire. But what I did in the meantime is I got another domain. So yes, this one you're stuck with, and you can't change that one. But if you because you're going to do this, you're going to think of a better domain name later, and you can get these domain names for like $10. And so we can go ahead and buy another domain name later. So just don't overthink this right now. Just go ahead and reserve your domain name, because the faster you do this, the faster we can go ahead and get started with our blog. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and select check domain. Oops, I already did that. I need to go ahead and select order now. Excuse me. Let's wait for that. Okay, your domain has been successful. We will get back with you shortly with your requested domain. Okay, so that's what you do here. There's really nothing else we can do to your blog for right now until they go ahead and set up that domain name. But go ahead, again, look down below directly underneath this video. Listen to the tips that we've given you in picking your domain name. But log into your system, go ahead and choose your domain name, and implement what we have just talked about in today's video. Because the longer that you wait for this, the longer it's going to take for us to set up your blog. But I do hope this information was helpful. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye now.